My name is Jerry Davis. I'm 62 years old and I've got a story to tell. I want my family to know and the world to know what's happened to me. I have a disease called adhesive arachnoiditis. I decided it's time to get off of the opioids. Arachnoiditis causes the worst pain you can imagine. The doctors tell me it's worse than any cancer pain known. I had it for 12 years. I started on pills with opioids. I advanced to patches of fentanyl because I couldn't absorb the pills anymore through my stomach. Then I couldn't absorb the patches anymore, so I had to go off of that. When you go off an opioid, it's hell. There's no other word for it. I eventually moved on to injections. I injected myself between every hour and every hour and a half a day. 24 hours a day. I never slept more than an hour to an hour and a half because I'd wake up in withdrawal and I'd have to take a shot. I haven't slept through the night in all those years. I finally decided to get off of this. And unfortunately in America right now, there's only two options. The government and the insurance companies prefer you take the first one. You switch to a different long-acting opioid and just stay on opioids the rest of your life. Opioids make you numb. You can't feel. You have no emotions. There's no joy. There's no happiness. The other option is to go cold turkey. If you go off of them, it doesn't stop for weeks. I laid in bed. I screamed. I moaned. I fell out of bed several times. You have no control over anything. Your legs jerk. You can't sleep. You can't do anything. It's the most awful thing you can imagine. I didn't like either of those options. I was well. I didn't need the opioids. So I found a place started by a doctor from Israel. It's called ANR. They're in Switzerland. They've been there for a while, and he has saved 10,000 addicts. He developed a procedure that's quick. Luckily for me, they have just been now in Florida. But of course, insurance won't cover it. Fortunately, we had just sold our house and I had the money. I talked to my wife. She said, do it. They told me exactly what was going to happen. They didn't say a word that was untrue. I went to Florida and I went to the hospital. At the hospital, you check in the early morning, 7 a.m. or so. And the next day, Saturday at 2 o'clock, when I was strong enough to walk, I went back to the hotel. And so my wife drove me back there. They sent somebody to the hotel the next morning to check on me. His name was John. He's a godsend. His family had 6 brothers. 3 of them overdosed. He's donated his life to helping people. He came the next day also. Maria, a kind-hearted soul, called me the next day because I left and we flew home. And since then, I am now back home. I'm recovering. I guess it's a very fast process, actually. I'm a bit of an impatient man, unfortunately. And it's been 2 weeks today. 2 weeks ago, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I was released from the hospital. And I had been as much of a drug addict as you could possibly be, injecting 24 times a day. I have no desire for any drugs. I have no need for any. I'm completely healthy. I have no pain. I've completely been cured. My only advice is if you're watching and you're in pain or you have some disease, don't ever give up. It's so hard to do it, but I never quit. No matter how much hope I had to drum up, I kept trying. And it was so long and it was so hard, but eventually it worked. And there's reasons that we don't understand why things happen, but you just have to trust in God and have strong belief in something other than yourself, that it's possible and that there is hope. And I feel so blessed. I just wanted to make this video to share. And if you're watching it, please keep hope alive. You can do it. There's a possibility. It may not be today. It may not be next year, but it can happen, and just keep trying. Thank you.